This is France, located between the Atlantic Ocean and the Mediterranean Sea, Europe's third largest country. Historically, it was a global empire, and geography played a huge role in that. This land has some of the most dramatic landscapes in Europe, from ocean coastlines to towering mountains, from green valleys to wide rivers. Such geographical diversity within a single country is truly extraordinary. Today's France shares borders with Belgium, Luxembourg, Germany, Switzerland, Italy, Monaco, Andorra, and Spain. Now, you might think that France's longest border is with Spain or Belgium, but actually, France's longest border is across the Atlantic Ocean with Brazil. The reason is, what you see on the map is called mainland France or metropolitan France. But if you consider France's total territory, everything from these Pacific islands to South America's dense forests, Canada's coastline, and these small islands in the Indian Ocean, all of this is actually part of France. This hidden France makes up about 18% of total land and approximately 97% of maritime territory. Around 2.8 million French citizens live here. This means today's France isn't really just one country. It's a global empire that still exists today. But the foundation of this vast empire was built from mainland France's extraordinary geography. Yet within that same geography lay a deadly weakness, one that caused France to fall 3 times in history. 1870, 1914, 1940. 3 times Germany attacked France through the same route, every time they exploited France's geographical weakness. Today, we'll discover how geography made France a superpower and how it solved its geographical weakness through diplomacy. To understand today's France's geographical power, we need to go back about 2,500 years when this region was known as Gallia, home to warrior tribes called the Gauls. They settled here because of unique geographic advantages, fertile river valleys, mild climate, and natural defenses. This environment made them skilled farmers, craftsmen, and a powerful society, turning Gallia into one of Europe's richest regions. But that wealth became their downfall. In 58 BC, Roman general Julius Caesar set his eyes on this golden land and began the bloody Gallic Wars. The complex geography, dense forests, mountains, and rivers, plus resistance from countless Gallic tribes, made this war last 8 long years. Finally, in 51 BCE, Rome had conquered Gallia completely. Under Rome, the region became one of the empire's wealthiest provinces. After Rome fell in 476 AD, power shifted to the Franks, and under their king Clovis, the story of modern France began. Over centuries, French leaders used this land's geographic advantages to build a global empire. Just 100 years ago, this is what France looked like. France controlled 10% of the world's land and ruled over 110 million people. From Africa to the Middle East and Southeast Asia, almost entire regions were under the French flag, an empire 20 times larger than France itself. Even today, those 14 African countries are indirectly under France's influence. Their resources, language, and financial systems are still connected to France. Nearly 210 million Africans still use a currency controlled by France. Now, let's discuss mainland France's core geography. If we zoom into France's southern side, we see the Pyrenees Mountains between France and Spain. These mountains have always provided France natural protection from southern invasions. In the 8th century, when Muslims conquered Spain, their next target was France, and then entering deeper into Europe. Muslims tried this for about 20 to 25 years, but the difficult terrain of the Pyrenees and resistance from Frankish leader Charles Martel's army became major obstacles. They couldn't reach deep into France. Finally, in 732 AD, they were decisively defeated at the Battle of Tours and forced to retreat, ending Muslim expansion into Western Europe. Similarly, on France's southeastern border with Italy lie the Alps. The Alps are Europe's highest mountain range, stretching across 8 countries. These mountains secure half of France's eastern side. The remaining eastern side is protected by the Rhine River, which separates France and Germany. This leaves only the northern area, which is completely flat. Historically, Germany has attacked France 3 times from this border, as I mentioned at the beginning of the video. But after World War II, France found a revolutionary solution to this eternal problem through diplomacy. Instead of choosing conflict with Germany, they chose cooperation. By combining their coal and steel industries, they created the European Coal and Steel Community, which later became the European Union. The goal was to make war structurally impossible. Today, war between France and Germany is completely unthinkable. Now, let's move to France's northwest. This area is economically very important for France. The English Channel is one of the world's busiest sea routes. Northern Europe's vast trade goes through this route to the Mediterranean and Asia, and France is right next to this crucial trade route. Also, France is the only European country with access to both the North Sea and Mediterranean Sea. From the Mediterranean, France can easily trade in 3 directions. First, through the Strait of Gibraltar toward the Americas. Second, easy trade with all Black Sea countries. Third, via the Suez Canal, connecting France to the Middle East, Asia, and even as far as Australia and New Zealand, making trade with all these regions fast and easy. An even bigger advantage is that goods from these regions flow through the Suez Canal to Marseille-Fos port. From there, they move directly into France and onward across Europe. Similarly, France's entire western side faces the Atlantic Ocean, giving it direct access to North and South America. But France's real power is its river network. No other European country has such a strategic system. The Seine is the economic backbone, linking Paris to the sea. The Loire, France's longest river, 1,012 kilometers, supports vineyards and agriculture. The Rhône flows 812 kilometers from Switzerland to Marseille, powering trade and industry. These rivers don't just support trade, they give France the second largest farmland in Europe after Ukraine. Today, France is one of Europe's top agricultural exporters, exporting about 80 billion euros worth of agricultural products annually. At the same time, these rivers are also energy sources for France. The country's second largest electricity comes from hydroelectric power. Together, rivers make France's geography almost perfect for food, energy, and trade. Another aspect of France's geographical advantage is its neighbors. Look at the GDP per capita of France's neighboring countries. When your neighbors have such purchasing power, it affects your economy too. These neighboring countries are France's main export markets. In fact, geography has placed France at the very heart of one of the world's richest economic zones, a neighborhood where money and markets are always within reach. Today, France is one of the world's largest economies and a leading European power. It is also the most visited country in the world, attracting millions of tourists every year. Its wine and luxury goods are famous worldwide. From the ancient Gaul's fertile valleys to today's modern France's story proves that geography determines destiny, but intelligence and diplomacy can make that destiny even stronger. Next time you look at France on a world map, remember, this isn't just a country. It's a story of an extraordinary combination of geography, history, and human intelligence.